The area around Chalk Mountain topography is interesting, and I'll explain it to you briefly, and then I'll tell you what your part will be in the process of the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. I'm Bob Portman. This is my wife Peggy. We've had a place at Chalk Mountain for 38 years. We didn't used to share our birds with anybody. We have found that people want to come from all over the United States and Europe to see them. And it's a little bit hard to understand the topography of the area, but let me tell you the extent of this operation. Okay, drive out of Glen Rose, go 12 miles, stop at the state roadside park, and look out. When you drive one more mile, you'll be driving by the 250 acres. The highway is at 1,200 feet. Tops of the mountain is 1,300 feet. This mountain doesn't stop here, of course. This is 1 mile of mountain, but our place is up here, and we have a continuation of the mountain, as does Charles Brown on this side. Charles is a wildlife biologist, and he and I don't feel like those birds stop at our 5-wire barbed wire fences. If you take down this mountain, which was Tommy Davis's first statement, you're taking down 80 to 100 foot of mountain, and that's a massive amount of rock. He's not going to take that mountain down at even at 75,000 tons a year, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. It's going to take him years of operation to get rid of the whole mountain. That's about 20 trucks a day taking rock out of there. So just drive out and take a look and imagine what you would see in a few years if this is allowed to happen. We've known, and it's been designated by the U.S. Fish and Game, that this is called occupied habitat for endangered species for the golden cheek warbler and the black-capped vireo. Now, I'm going to try, as best I understand, and after a brief talk with an environmental attorney, to explain what your part is in the TCEQ process. There is a public meeting. It is on the 23rd in this room at 7 p.m. and we want you all to be here with your friends. We want your comments. But as I understand it, the purpose of that meeting is to identify the issues for another meeting. It's to identify the issues for a contested public hearing in Austin. Now, if you don't show up, if none of us come on the 23rd, there won't be any issues. There won't be any public meeting in Austin. The one in Austin is called a hearing, and it's before a judge. The one here is called a meeting, and any of you can speak. But there are some of us that have to speak, because if we don't, we won't get to talk in Austin at the public hearing. So the way it works is that the TCEQ, the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality staff, will be here on the 23rd. And they will record all of our comments. The first person to make comments will be Tommy Davis. So he'll stand up here, as I understand it, and all this is my opinion from reading this pamphlet and talking to people. But he'll stand up here and tell you what he plans to do and answer your questions. And your questions can range from how do you control the water runoff to anything you want to ask. Then there's a second part of the meeting, and anyone can speak at the second part on the 23rd, but the 25 people that have asked TCEQ for a contested public hearing have to speak. They have to present their arguments and any materials that they're going to take before the judge in Austin. So anybody that has sent in a request for a contested hearing will have to present whatever they're going to present in Austin here first. Also, there comes into the situation, how close are you to the rock crushing? And affected parties live within about a mile. They're called affected parties, live within about a mile of the rock crushing. Everyone else who's not an affected party can speak here, and you can speak at the hearing. You just have to write in that you're requesting the hearing before the judge in Austin. You can speak, or your environmental attorney can speak for you, either way, in Austin. After this public meeting on the 23rd, the executive director of TCEQ will make his decision on the permit. His office writes to every single person that's written to him, and they tell you what his decision is, and they answer your concerns that you wrote in your letter to the executive director. But you have to be on his mailing list. So when you take those cards and you write into TCEQ, you put, of course, your name, address, and wanting to be on the mailing list and wanting the public meeting. And if you want a public hearing, you can tell them that.